My name is Sean Beecher. I'm the GIS administrator for the city of Spanish Fork, and that basically just means I oversee the mapping for the city. And today we're going to discuss the maps and what you can do with them and how they can help you in your life. To start off with, we're going to go to our main homepage, SpanishFork.org, and you'll notice in the middle of the page there's a link that says mapping. Once you click on that, you'll be at the location where you can view all the different maps that we have and offer in our city. Once you get to this mapping page, one thing to be aware of is these maps, or everyone but the full interactive map, are more like racehorses. They're very focused, very specific. The full interactive map is meant to be more of a pack horse. It has an all-inclusive, everything type of feel to it. First one we're going to go over is our sensitive land maps. That's a way to find information regarding whether or not your land is in a flood zone, in a liquefaction zone, if it's near a fault. And with any of our maps, if you hold down the shift key, you can actually draw a box around the area you want to zoom in on. So it makes it kind of nice. If you hold down the left click and drag, it will allow you to drag the map. We're going to zoom in again in this area and just click on any property. You can click on your property, and once you do that, this map will pull up all of the sensitive lands in your area. In this case, it's telling you it's a shaded zone X, and then has links to the various pieces of information that you can find regarding the flood zone in that area. Some of those are the FEMA flood maps. Some of them are other links and information about the map. Then you can also find other information like what liquefaction zone you're in, how close the nearest hospital is to you, police stations, fire stations, and the such. You'll also notice if you click on one of these links down below, it will show you what that zone is. So you can find out other pieces of information about those particular zones. Or if you want to find out what hospitals are in the area, you can click on that hospital and it will highlight it and show you where it is. Same thing with the police stations. So that is our sensitive land information. We're going to now show you some of our other pieces of mapping that we can use. The next map we're going to look at is the cemetery map. This is used to help people find information about people who are deceased or people who own a particular cemetery plot. To get to that, you just click on the cemetery map here. It will pull up a screen that you can start off by either zooming in on a particular area if you know which area you're looking at, or if you don't know and you want to do a search, over here on the top there's a search tool that will allow you to search by deceased, father, mother, or owner. It will search all of them simultaneously. So if the name is Johnson, for instance, you come over here and type in the word Johnson and hit search, and it is actually doing a search by anybody that has a deceased name Johnson, anybody, if the mother is Johnson, the father is Johnson, or the owner is Johnson. And you can sort these by clicking on the top header, and it will sort them in alphabetical order. In this case, I'm searching by full name, which is the deceased. Once I do that, I can then scroll through the list, find the one I want, and click on it, and it will zoom in on that particular plot. You can close this to kind of see what's in the area. And then if you want to find information about neighboring plots, you can actually click on that particular plot, and it will give you the information about who is buried there, who the mother or father is of that person that's buried. And that's it for that tool. You can also click on this little icon and it will make that disappear. At any time with any of these tools, if you click on the home button, it will take you to the full extent of the map as it was before. The next map that we're going to talk about is the election map. This map is set aside to help people know where to go to vote and also who are their elected officials. We'll jump right into it just like before. A lot of these tools carry over from map to map and are very similar in what they can do. This time, I'm just going to zoom in on a particular area, click on a property, and allow it to do its magic. As you can see, this has highlighted the precinct that you're in, also highlighted where you go to vote. If you look down below, it gives you information about your polling location. In this case, they go to vote at the junior high. Tells you information about the election, so you can click right here and get more information about application deadlines, sample ballots, Spanish Fork City candidates, and if you still need information, you can click on the contact information and it will tell you who it is that you need to contact. This page is mostly set up for city elections. We will try and update it as much as possible when there are non-city elections, but it's not guaranteed that we'll be able to update it. In a non-city election, you'll want to go to the county's website for more information. The other tool I wanted to show you is the elected officials. This is great because it will help you find out who it is that's representing you in the city, the state, the county, and the U.S. for U.S. Congressional and U.S. Senate. By clicking on this tab right here, you can see right here that it shows you who your city council members are, county commissioners, state senate, state house, governor, U.S. Congressional, U.S. Senate. And with each of these, all you have to do is click on where it says website, and it will take you to that particular representative's website so you can get more information about them or how to contact them. The next map that we're going to talk about is the construction map. This is a tool to help citizens of Spanish Fork know what is going on in their area. Not only will it help you find information of where construction is going, but it will also tell you information about that construction project. It has dates of estimated start and estimated end, what the project entails, and then it also has links that you can go to and find more information about the project, like plans, construction drawings, that kind of thing. We're going to jump right into this construction work map. When you come in here, you'll notice a couple of different colors. You have the orange ones that are current construction projects. You have the yellow ones that are future construction projects. Dashed ones indicate trails, and then the green ones indicate any overlays that are going to happen in the city. With any project, you go over and just click on that project, and you'll notice that it has a name of the project, a description, estimated start and end, and who you can contact with information on that particular construction project. At any time, we'll also put in notes if there's something specific that we would like you to know about that construction project. For instance, this project that we just clicked on, at a certain point in time, they're going to close down the bridge so that they can basically put in the new bridge. But you can also scroll down and find additional links that have more information about the particular construction project. As always, you can zoom in, zoom out. One thing I haven't showed that is very similar in every single app or map is you can click on this little icon right here. Most of these are set to search a particular address. This case, with construction, it is set to show a construction name. If I search a particular construction name, then it will highlight it and I can zoom right in on that particular project. These tools allow you to also, if you have your phone, you can turn on your GPS to help you find your location where you are. You can switch base maps to go between the regular base map or an aerial base map, and you can share it with your friends if you want. You'll also notice that in a lot of the maps, they have this little home icon that will allow you to zoom out to the entire area. You can also zoom in increments or zoom out in increments. The next map we're going to talk about is the planning and zoning map. This is set to help people find information about zoning or general plan or property information on their particular property. Just click on the planning and zoning map. It will take you to that area. I'm going to zoom in on a particular property. You click on the property and it will give you information about that particular property, what the zoning is and the zoning setbacks for that, or you can go into the zoning code and find out more, as well as the general plan. This one has a link to the entire general plan so you can find more information about those zones. The parcel information, if you click on this link, it will actually take you to the county's website where you can find more information from the county's website of what that particular property is. So if you wanted to see the particular plat that was recorded for that particular property, you can actually click on that and it will bring up the plat. the recorded plat for that particular property. And then last but not least is the contact information. If you have more information that you require regarding that particular property, you can contact this person and they will help you with this particular area. As always, you can click down at the bottom and find in this case, the plat or the parcel that you clicked on, or the general plan, what that general plan area includes, or the zoning area that you clicked on includes. Say you want to know what services your particular property has. The government services map is for you because it will help you find what services are in your area. I'm just going to click in any old area. It's going to zoom in a little bit on the particular property and it's searching for all the services. Tells you that where I clicked actually has trash pickup on Monday, recycling pickup on Monday, and it also has contact information. So if you have concerns about your trash or your recycling pickup, you can call that particular organization and find out more information. This one's kind of cool because it has the school boundaries for your particular property. For instance, elementary school. If I want to click on, I can see this particular elementary school is Park Elementary, and I can actually click on the website and it will take me to the school's website. So I can get more information about Park Elementary. Say for instance I need to contact the school administrator or whatever it may be and need to know schedules. Their websites have it all. So it actually has the elementary school, junior high school, and high school. So you can click on monuments and see what monuments are in the area, and by clicking on each one it will zoom in on it and show you where that monument is. Trash drop-off facilities, if I want to know where I can go and drop off a load of trash that I want to get rid of. Museums in the area, community centers, post offices, libraries, police stations, fire stations. It's all in there. And at any time you can click on this area down below and see what the particular boundaries are. Say I wanted to know where my high school boundary is, I can click on that and find out where it is. So it's in essence a tool to help you find more information about your particular government service that you're looking for. The last tool we're going to talk about, as I talked about before, is the Packhorse of all of them, and that's the full interactive map. The reason why this is the Packhorse, it has more tools, has more layers, and just has more information altogether. The main thing I want to show you to start off with are some of the tools that you can use. The first one, let's zoom in on our particular area just so we can get a property to work with. The first tool we're going to look at is the Google Street View. First of all, you have to click on this icon to bring up the square. You have to make sure your pop-ups are turned off. Your pop-up blocker, I guess I should say, you need to have that turned off. If you don't, then it won't allow you to see this tool. But once you get there, you just drag this little man right on top of a street, and it will show you the street view for that particular street. You'll notice that it has a kind of view shed of where this guy is looking. When you first bring it up, it's not going to be very accurate, but as you pan around, you'll notice that that view shed changes to show which direction you're looking at. So you can actually see what is in a particular area if you want. So we're going to close that down, jump into the measure tool. Measure tool and the graphics tool that I'm going to show you are very similar in that each of them draws a graphic, but the measure tool actually adds distances to those graphics. You'll notice that once I pick this line tool, which allows you to pull in multiple points, I can pick what type of line style I want. I can pick whether I want solid or dashed, how transparent I want that line to be, and then if you want, you can pick how you want the text to be and what units you want those to be in. So now that I have my tool selected, I'm just going to start drawing. You'll notice that each time you click, it adds a new segment, and then when you double click, it actually gives you the total footage of that line. To get rid of that, you just hit clear, and then as I said, you could do that with polygons. I'm not going to change the defaults this time, I'm just going to draw them. It tells you what the dimensions are of each segment of line as well as the overall square footage for that particular area that you've drawn in. Say you wanted to highlight an area. You want to be able to print off a map and you want to show a particular area of interest that you're looking at. I'm going to come up here just like the other tool In this case, I'm going to do a freehand line. I'm going to pick the color I want to use, and we'll use blue this time. And I want it to be 50% transparent, so I'm just going to draw a little area. And it's using the freehand tool, so I can just kind of draw it however I want. The other great thing is I can add text on top of this. We're going to do some red text so it shows up a little bit better. And I'm going to go ahead and type in, this is the place, and it's going to be size 20. So I'm going to go ahead and now click on the map, and now I have a piece of text. Once I've done that, if I want to, I can go down here and hit print, and I want to do a letter size landscape, and I'm going to go ahead and print. You notice that the format says PDF. You could actually change it to JPEG or something else. I'm going to hit print, and it's going to take a little bit for it to do it. But once it does it, it's going to take the screen that you have, and it's going to make a map, in this case with graphics and text showing the areas you want to highlight. Once that PDF is done, you can pull it up, you can save that PDF, you can print it out, you can do whatever you want. This PDF is done, so now we're going to click on it and just take a look at what we've got. You notice it has a title, it has the map, it has the icon on it with the text that we just made, and now you can have a little thing that you can show to your friends of the area that you're wanting to highlight. And maybe you're having a party and wanted to show this is where the party is. Now you can do that. I'm going to clear the graphics on here so that they're no longer on there. If you happen to close the layers that we're going to get into in a little bit, you can always click on this little layers dialog box and pull it back up. If you want to know what the symbols mean, we'll show you that in a little bit, but it's this legend tool. There's not many things to show right now because I don't have any layers turned on, but this legend will show you what those symbols are supposed to look like. We're going to show you a couple of different address searches. The main one that they have is an ESRI geocoder, meaning it's using everything throughout the whole US. So you're going to actually have to type in Spanish Fork. If you don't want to have to type in Spanish Fork, like this will, and I click on it, it will actually take you to there. If you don't want to have to type in Spanish Fork, we have an address search that we've set up that's using our addresses that we have in our database, and it uses our particular addresses so you can actually search right on that address. I'm going to click on this home button. As usual, it takes you out to the full extent of the map. There is a base map that you can switch down here. You can switch to this imagery. The only problem with this imagery is it is ESRI imagery, so it will only allow you to zoom in so far, and it's not as good a quality. The base map that we have actually has the addresses and road names turned on. If you turn on the other imagery, and the way you do that is go to the layer list, scroll to the very bottom, and click on the imagery. This is 6-inch resolution imagery, so it's very good quality. It's through the state and through a Google contract that we have with the state. But you notice that once I turn on this imagery, the addresses and the road names turn off, and the reason that is because the imagery is laid on top of the base map. Have no fear, we have the ability to still turn on addresses and road names. If you go to transportation and expand that, and then go down to road names and turn them on, then you'll be able to see what the road names are in your area. You'll notice that a lot of these have the check mark checked. Just because the check mark is checked doesn't mean that they're necessarily on. The reason why we have them checked is so that if you check anything underneath it, it will automatically turn on. Otherwise, they would not turn on. And then I'm going to go under property and turn on addresses. Now, the thing with this map is it has a ton of layers. There's about 80-something layers in here of information that you can be able to find in your area. I'm going to go ahead and pan over to an area that actually has subdivision information. And what I'm going to show you is a couple of things that you can do. The first thing, looking at final plats, you can turn on final plats. As soon as you turn on a layer, anything in that layer is identifiable, meaning you can click on that particular area and it will pull up information about it. In this case, I have final plats turned on. I'm going to click on this particular property, and you notice up at the top it says 1 of 3. The first one that I have is address, so it's pulling from the address layer and giving me information about the addresses. And you can scroll through that information. As you flip through these, using these arrows, you'll notice that it highlights whatever you are on. In this case, it's final plats, and then property information. You also notice at the top of property and final plats that they have links to them. This means that you can click on them and pull up more information about that particular thing that you clicked on. In this case, the final plats. It's giving me, again, the recorded plat for that particular property. If I go over to the parcel or the property information, I click on it and it pulls up the county's information on that particular property. I'm highlighting a couple of these just so you know where they are and some of those types of information that you have. For instance, right now, you can see that property lines are turned on. The ones that we have turned on are on all the time. We have them so that as you zoom out, they turn off. If you still want to see property lines when you're zoomed out, we have a couple of other pieces of property lines for aerials and property lines for base maps. These two are the same layer, they're just symbolized differently. One's yellow and one's gray. So depending upon what you want to look at, that's what you'll turn on. And you can still pull up information about that property by clicking on it. So just to kind of get you in the mode, under planning and zoning, you can turn on the general plan, you can turn on zoning. We have highway exit numbers, we have milepost markers. There's just a wealth of information in here. What I would recommend is just go through and start expanding layers until you see symbols. As soon as you see the symbols and you've gone down far enough, but as you expand the layers, you can see what other types of information this particular map has. Contours, annexations, sensitive lands, there's just a wealth of information in here. We put it out there so you guys could have access to that information, and if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call or email me, and I'll be glad to help out any way I can.